Hey everyone! Today we're talking about something really weird. Trump bragged he'd crush Iran in 4 to 5 weeks. Yet after just 10 days of fighting, he suddenly came out overnight saying, the war is basically over. What the hell is going on in that gourd of his? In fact, America didn't win. Iran played a super cheap but deadly set of moves that made the US unable to afford to keep fighting, so they had to find an excuse to climb down. Let's do the math first. The US fights the expensive way. One F-15E fighter jet gets shot down, that's $250 million gone. One THAAD radar system gets taken out, over $1.1 billion down the drain. Even crazier, the US uses Patriot missiles that cost $4 million each to intercept Iranian drones, while the cheapest Iranian drones cost only about $20,000 apiece. Move 1. Flood them with ultra-cheap consumables to bleed America dry. Iran has over 20,000 drones, basically flying AKs, low-cost, high-volume, all kamikaze style, swarming toward US bases. If intercepted, each drone costs the US about $4 million to shoot down. In just the first few days, they burned through $5.7 billion in interceptor missiles, pushing the Pentagon to warn that key ammunition could run out in days. If left unchecked, these drones target the US military's eyes, its early warning radars. The $1.12 billion radar system at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar was taken out, tearing a huge hole in America's Middle East air defense network. Move 2. Missiles plus geographic advantage, cheap and extremely effective. Iran has over 3,000 missiles, not cutting edge but precise and hidden in underground Great Walls 80, 120 meters deep where US bunker busters can't reach. More decisively, hypersonic missiles with terminal speeds of Mach 15 evade US missile defenses, hitting bases in Israel and the Gulf. Each missile costs a fraction of a US interceptor, so Iran can fire freely. Meanwhile, the US burns nearly $900 million a day, $3.7 billion in 100 hours, draining its treasury fast. Move 3. Choke the energy jugular and create domestic chaos for the US. The Strait of Hormuz, 25–30% of the world's oil passes through it. Iran threatens to close it, 150 oil tankers stuck outside. Global oil price jumps to $130 barrel. US domestic gasoline prices skyrocket. American people hit the streets yelling, "Stop the war!" Lower gas prices. Trump has to deal with the frontline mess and angry voters at home at the same time, impossible to sustain. Some people say America's military is way stronger than Iran's, how could they lose? Simple, Iran never tried to match America's high-tech game. They played pure asymmetric warfare. You bring your expensive high-tech toys, I'll bring my low-cost swarm. You can afford one day at $900 million, I can afford 6 months of high-intensity fighting. Let's see who collapses first. Even worse for the US, they couldn't even rally their allies. Spain straight up refused to let American planes take off from their bases.
And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right, we could use their base if we want, we could just fly in and use it.
Russia, China, and a bunch of Middle Eastern countries sided with Iran. America became completely isolated. Continuing the fight would only lead to heavier losses. So the so-called war is over was just Trump putting lipstick on a pig to cover the retreat. Iran didn't rely on fancy equipment. They used one killer move, cost-crushing, and dragged the US into a war they couldn't afford to fight or sustain, forcing America to quit early. So does this mean American hegemony is finished? Will Iran's low-cost style rewrite the rules of Middle East warfare? Follow me, next time we'll dig deeper into the real mechanics behind this US-Iran game.